Hey folks, welcome back. Today we are going to be forging stainless clad San Mai steel. Now what San Mai steel is, 3 layers of steel. So on the outside 2 layers, they're going to be 303 stainless. In the core, it'll be FirekeeperForge V, which is just a fantastic all-around high carbon steel. So let's get started.
Okay, so what we have here is we have our 2 pieces of stainless. And all these pieces, as you can see, have been ground very, very clean. That's very important. We don't want anything in here that's going to inhibit these pieces from fusing together. So we have our 2 stainless pieces, and this is our piece of high carbon. All the pieces are around 1/4 of an inch thick. And what I'm going to be doing is sandwiching them right like this. Now we have our 3 layers. And I'm going to be welding with the arc welder around the entire perimeter of this billet. And the reason for doing that is stainless steel does not forge weld with oxygen present. If we were to just stack this up like a regular Damascus billet and just tack it, the oxygen moving from the forge to forge welding it would inhibit this from welding. So we're going to get our billet welded up, and what I'm going to do is clamp it in the vise and then do my best to make the most solid welds I can possibly do. You'll notice that the piece of carbon steel is a little bit smaller than the stainless, and this is me just experimenting. The idea behind that is I can fill in the weld right here, and the weld will take up that space and make a better seal that way. Who knows if it'll work? We'll see. Thing I'm going to do is put the billet in a container of kerosene for a few minutes while the forge heats up, and what that will do is that'll soak in any holes that there are, and when I do put it in the forge it'll burn off and create this carbon layer around the billet to prevent oxygen from going in, and that's how I do my Damascus without flux. Okay, so our billet of San Mai has been forged and normalized 3 times. I've done that in an effort to reduce the grain structure size, because at that high temperature it gets really big, which makes for really brittle material. So that's now cooling down, and once I can touch it with my hands, I'm going to be grinding off the arc welds we put on it and hoping that the forge welds are clean, solid, and the entire piece is welded through and through. See that? That is the line of success. There are no delaminations apart from the very ends, which is very normal. We have a nicely centered piece of FirekeeperForge V in the middle with the 303 on the outside. This is almost 3/8 of an inch thick, so this is way too thick for most blades that I make. But this is now ready to have the ends cut off and then formed into some knives.
Alright folks, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Super glad that we have a successful billet here, and this is now ready to turn into some knives. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.